Happy New Year, everyone. Now, 12 months ago, when we began 2020, no way in our wildest imagination did we ever imagine what this year would be like. It's hard to imagine that the way we do church now would be so drastically different from the way we used to do before. As we look forward to 2021, it's probably fair to say that the way that we do church will likely remain in this way for some months yet, perhaps even more than that. Now, just to make sure that we're on the same page, let me explain why. Now, God has graciously provided us a church building, but it is a bit too small, isn't it? It's not very big. And so, as long as social distancing laws remain in place, we will not be able to return to all of us gathering at Ryan's Road Church building. It would seem that the social distancing laws will remain in place until an effective vaccination has been given for the majority of the Australian population. It would seem that that will be months away, perhaps even longer. And so we will press on ahead in 2021 with the plan to keep meeting as we have been doing in the past few months, with church at home groups being our primary Sunday church gathering, and church at Ryan's Road, something that we do once every few weeks. Now, I would love for us to see this not as a poor alternative to the way that things used to be before. In fact, the experience by so many of us over the past few months of doing church this way has been perhaps unexpectedly good. You see, over the past many months, over 250 people continue to meet for church every week. COVID-19 has not prevented us from gathering as God's people. In fact, attendance has been encouragingly and wonderfully good. Now, many of us have also met with so many brothers and sisters and seekers that you had never met before. Being in different church at home groups have given unique opportunities to meet and get to know others of the family of God in a way that we wouldn't otherwise have happened in the past. There has been a greater depth of learning and sharing and relating with each other after church as people have hung around in homes and even shared meals together. Now, this has led to people praying with and for each other, not just on the Sundays, but also during the week. Now, churching in this new way also means that many more of you are involved in serving God each week. And rather than just the service team at Ryan's Road, about 15 people at most serving on a Sunday, churching at home means that a lot more people are serving every single week. Almost 30 hosts are serving each week, are getting ready, preparing their homes, hosting people. Not to mention people who are serving others by providing transport for those in need, for those who are bringing food along to their hosts' homes, as well as those who are helping with cleanup and things like that after church is over. It is wonderful to have these opportunities to serve God in real and practical ways as we serve each other. So, there are many great things, aren't there, that have come out of this new way of doing church. Yet it must also be acknowledged that this does require more energy and effort. We must acknowledge that doing church this new way does require more energy and more effort. It's definitely tiring, isn't it, being a host? All of the hosts out there right now are nodding furiously, I'm sure. And we ought to really give thanks to God and to them for their service and sacrifice each week. It's also definitely tiring not having an easy and set routine to follow, like in the past, where we would rock up to church, we would go to our usual seats, we would speak to our familiar people, and then we'd head out to our usual lunch spots. With each new block in this new way of doing church comes new emails to have to read, new messages to have to check, perhaps forms to have to fill out, information to have to remember, arrangements to be made, and of course, new people and new situations to meet and encounter. It's all rather uncomfortable at times, isn't it? It's all rather uncomfortable at times. Now, churching in this new way is challenging, that's for sure. It is tiring. It does require more effort and more energy. Yet, I hope that you will see that it is worth it. Now, practically speaking, it will be the way things will have to be for a while more yet. But more importantly, Christianly speaking, this is how God has made church for us to be in this present season. And God has graciously given us this way of church to help us to keep growing and to keep serving and to keep even reaching out to those who are not part of our church during these times. And so here's some news and some encouragement that I would love for you to take in as we think about the year ahead. Now, the Church at Home Group organization team has come up with a plan to help us to keep going with this new way of churching, taking into account the increased energy and effort that's required to do church this way. Now, firstly, we've decided to schedule in breaks through the year. The next 2 weeks will not have any formal home group arrangements, so that hosts can continue to take a break if they need to or if they want to. At the end of each school term, as you can see on this graphic, there will be breaks corresponding to the school term breaks. Now, what this means is that we will only be scheduling church at home groups for 2 blocks of 5 weeks for each of the 4 terms of the year. That is 40 weeks of planned, organized church at home groups. Now, the reality has been that there have only been enough hosts for each block since we started church at home groups a few months back. We've only ever just had enough hosts. Now, this means that we would dearly love for current hosts to be able to keep hosting. Now, of course, we would also love to have more people hosting so that those who are already hosting can take breaks at times. And so that also we can have potentially more space to be able to invite friends to grow the church. Now, the first block for 2021 kicks off after a 2-week break. Now, I really hope that we can start the year off well, start it off with a bang, and press on well to the end of the year. And so if you can host, please do so. Take a good break now, and please sign up to host again in the new block. If you are an attendee, please commit to your assigned group and make an effort to go each week. If you sign up for church at Ryan's Road, or if your group is assigned to go there, please do so. You see, whatever 2021 holds for us, God's purpose for us is that we are saved to belong to His people, His kingdom, His church. This means that for us to be able to stay faithful and to be able to stand strong and to be able to keep growing and to be equipped to live and live for Jesus and to serve His kingdom, we must keep making every effort to gather as God's church. So whether that's hosting, or whether that's attending, or whether that's serving in different ways, let us make sure that 2021 is a year that we do not stop meeting together as God's people, that we may continue to encourage each other and spur each other on as the day draws near. God bless.